we'll be looking after guys who've got decent accounts. So I will be able to spend more time with you because I'm spending time in the trade in the afternoon, getting about 20 visitors. And I'll be honest with you, half of them don't have the Tom there, and they're just going on. You know what I mean? And it's expensive to have my time taken up with them. So I'm going to be spending more time with guys who've got decent sized balance. You're definitely one of them. So it's actually going to be good news for you because I can have more time with you.
Oh, great stuff. Because I might be adding another 200 grand to this balance because I'm open another account because I'm going to use this to go forward. It's very effective for the lifestyle. I've got a parent to 7 kids as well. And this works. I can make money and look after it.
Okay, I've got to shoot now. So the guys come to, before you go, brilliant. When you do that, tell me, and you'll have full access to me. I mean, a guy's got more money. It's sheer business. I'm hoping we'll have a friendship, a relationship, etc. And if you're Joe, I don't know where you are, maybe you can meet up or something like that. But I will, and then you have open sesame to me. It'll be more beneficial than the trade in the afternoon because you get more one-on-one. You get the idea. So if you're going to put that in, an extra 200 grand, that makes you like a super VIP. And you can call up, discuss trades. My time will be yours. I'd rather spend time with the guy who's going to do one lot size than spend 10 minutes with the guy who puts in a micro. It's 100 times the difference. So my time is 100 times more valuable spent with you. So long we're on the same page then. Okay.
That makes me more positive as to going forward. Okay, let's go to the room.
Yeah, got to go now.
Okay. I've got technicians to do today.
Got to go. Cheers, mate. Thanks, Ed. Bye.
Bye.
Sorry, guys. I've just on a phone call, which is an important one. I had to chat with them. It's a little bit later than usual, but I'll get a start just now. Okay. Just give me a second. I've got to get to the loo. Sorry about that. Okay, yeah. Sorry, a bit delayed there. I had to spend a bit of time with sort of super VIP, if you like, clients, and we sort it out. So that's 100%. Okay, good. Yeah, welcome. Good morning to you all. It is now after 12:30, so let's get started. I lose all my shot. Yeah, you've got to sort that out, Anne-Marie, but you shouldn't obviously be losing it because, well, they were winners. So, yeah. He'll be able to sort you out with what button you're pressing. He's a superhero when it comes to assisting on button pressing. Tell you right now. Okay, right. Okay, let's move along. The guys in the Nasdaq, hold on. But anybody not the Nasdaq and wants to look, I'm still pro the short, despite the fact it is looking a little bit higher up. But it's on the weekly, see it's holding there. So if you're not in the NAS or you've taken profit in the NAS, I think this could be a possible trade for you guys. Okay, just let these guys in quickly. Sorry. Yeah, right. It could be a trade here. I think. I'm not sure what's going to drive that up to much higher, above 13.5. But so if you're in, obviously don't do anything. You just stick with it. Yeah. Don't re-enter the Dow if you took profit on it. Leave that alone for the moment. But that's still in a nice profit. It's doing well. If you're in, hold on. But if you're not, don't join it now. We might get a better price. I don't know. But if you are in it, just make sure you reduce your risk by modifying your stop as per normal. But I think there's a possibility here. I'm going to ask Clinton, what's your opinion? Clinton, what do you think? Do you think it'd be an idea for those not in to maybe sell it this one here?
Okay, so if I look at the charts, I feel so far it is close to that resistance. Well, it's on the 100 weekly at the moment.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do see downside. It's just want a tiny bit more confirmation. This week it climbed quite well. But yeah, I definitely see downside pullback on this.
Okay. I'm bringing Clinton more in this trade if you don't mind, because he's going to be doing it next week because I'm on leave and I'll be back on Monday. Okay. I've mentioned we're only doing morning shows, not afternoon going forward, because I'll be spending more time with, frankly, larger clients. I don't mean physically. You have to be fat to get my time. I'm talking larger clients to sort of help them along and spend more time with them, which is good. Okay, right. So you've got a bit more confirmation. I'm happy with that. Look at the 4 hour. Yeah, we're getting a little bit there. So if you want more confirmation, that's fair enough. If anyone wants to go in now, I can put up the risk reward. Anyone want more confirmation or anyone to go in now? Just let me know on the chat line. Confirmation, Morning Alfani. Anyone want to go in now or more confirmation? If you want to go in now, let me know. I'll put the RR up. Okay. It's on the micro, yes, correct. Okay. If you got more money, you can do the normal one. Clearly, but just go with the normal. The figure's the same. Just do the normal. I have to mention though. This will have a slightly wider spread because it's such a tiny one. It's a business like any other business. We have to wider spread. The normal one will have a tighter one, but don't worry about the spread. If you haven't got the money, don't go and try and go the bigger one because it can come back and hurt if it doesn't go right. Okay, we're looking for a short on this one. We'll go to the weekly. I wanted 200 pips, as you all know. The beauty at that height there, we can go above not 5 but 6, which is quite nice. So put 13 pips, make it 650. There we are. Stop loss. We can take it right down here, I think. Let's take the wrong way. 12,000. That's far too far. Make it around 13,000. Try 13,000. Might get to 12. It falls off. If it starts falling off rapidly, really rapidly, don't forget you can modify your TP. Don't forget, bring it down. Ride the bloody thing. You know what I'm saying? It's getting a habit of taking the profit too quickly and riding the losses. No, ride the damn thing. If this really starts flying off, which you couldn't do, fundamentals or whatever, this one trade could make up all the last month's negative ones. We did it on the Dow in the past. Remember that one we had about a month ago? We did 1,000 pips. What a pleasure. So just bear that in mind. But that's your RR, 45 bucks a micro. Anyone wants to go in? If you do, let me know and make a note of that, Clinton. Write it down a piece of paper so you can go back in it on Mondays to see how the guys are doing. Okay, I'm not going to make a note of it, to be honest. I'm going to be away, so I want you to do that, Clinton. If more than 2 guys, that's the trading room rules I've got. You might want to change them, but more than 2 guys want to do it and mark it, write it down, and then you can review it on the next session. Okay, so anybody want to do this?
Incoming mail.
Okay, if you feel that, Coney, that's not a problem. I'm not so sure 102 is going to hold forevermore. I've been mentioning this is 101 to 102 is the sort of situation we're looking at. So you have to obviously hold this sort of short. I'm talking guys going in now, but I still feel I can't obviously predict what's going to happen on the fundamental side. That's completely outside everyone's control. That apart, I think 101, 102 is going to be the range going forward for a while. Okay, so which means it's 102 at the moment. In fact, slightly broken, slightly below that on the DXY. There might be a little bit of down. But that's my opinion, Cody. I could be wrong. You could be right. You could be wrong. We all like that. But that's my opinion. That's all I can say. But who wants to do it? Finally likes it. Anybody else like it? To enter now. Who's not already in it? Don't for God's sake, don't double up. Okay, you've got two guys there. So Clinton, do me a favor, write those figures down and then review it and next week to see how it goes. Okay. If you're in, Brian, please hold on. Do not double up. So Clinton going to be doing it next week. He does it his way, I do it mine. I'm just suggesting.
Incoming mail.
I'm just going to make a suggestion, which I've been doing quite regularly lately, is to just try and get people to get newer guys in all the time to overcome this area, which has happened quite a lot, where they take the profit too quick. I know we don't want to be winning 10 and all put back in one loss, and then you modify the stop loss away. I think it's Monday yesterday from a question. It's getting him to stop. Shall I modify it away? Don't accept the loss, that sort of thing. We don't want people, and I've seen it happen many times, where they're blowing their account by just holding on the loss, taking away the stop loss until that one stuffs everything else up. You know what I mean? The micro, yeah. The normal, if you can afford it. The normal one is just basically 10 times the size. I mentioned this before. You left click, right click, go to specifications, and it says contract size 1. The other one, do that, it says contract size 10. So it's 10 times the size. So 0.01 on this is 45 bucks. If you go on the normal, 0.01 is 450. 450 Rand, that's the sort of risk you take when you got about 8 grand or more. So if you've got 8 grand or more, you can go 0.01 on the normal one. But if you've got less than that, just go multiple of that. I mean, clearly, if you've got 4 or 5 grand in your account, you're not going to go for 1. You multiply it up. That's what the risk for. So if you can afford to, let's say, go for, I don't know, 250 risk or 6 4s are 24. So you can put in 6 there on the micro. 0.1 on here is exactly the same risk as 0.01 on the normal, because there's a 10 times difference in contract size. I hope that answers your question, guys. This is purely for guys who now can trade the Dow and the NAS without having to have 5 grand or more on their account. That was the idea behind it, and because people like it, and they didn't know that, and they were getting caught by being overexposed. Because I think the behavior is like a forex. No, it's far more volatile. Look at that stop loss. It's over 200 pips. You're not going to see me putting out a trade idea of over 200 pips on a currency pair. Get the idea. Okay, hope that's all clear. If not, well, maybe spend another way. Okay, guys, so I hope you got that written down there, Clinton. Just take a note and see if it comes right. I'm going to knock it off there. You should all have it, and we can always refer back to it. In fact, I'm just going to quickly save it. Just handy, just keep it to myself. We'll come to the trades that have been sent out, but obviously I'd rather do this one to start off with because it's a new one. Hang on. What the hell?
Incoming mail.
Okay. Right, so that's sorted. I can't send it out, won't send out to everybody this because a lot of guys are already in it. They get confused, they double up, etc. We've got to trade out. I'm just saying the guys who missed it or took profit or out of it can now look to re-enter it if you want. If you want confirmation, we've discussed it. The beauty is now you can go in with the full information to make your decision. Great stuff. I'm going to knock that off now. Just quickly go. We've got a couple out today. Let's have a look at the mailbox. Just check them out for you. We'll start off with AUD USD. Now, I've just had a chat with Clinton this morning, and this is the idea going forward. If this trade goes right, you say, well done, Clinton. If it goes wrong, you blame me, right? Because I'll be away. So then you can, and I won't be able to answer back. I won't be there. So you can blame me. So it's a nice win-win situation. Just kidding, but you know what I mean. Anyway, yeah, so let's see how the thing is doing. Well, I always say, Farley, you know what I mean? They say, don't kick a man who's down. How stupid is that? Of course you do, because they can't fight back. I'm not going to kick a bloody 6'6" rugby player when he's standing up. I'm going to kick him when he's bloody down. That's a bloody lootly. That makes far more sense. Eh? The idea is to win, not play fair. Tell the Queensbury rules. Anyway, moving along to serious note. We want to get in round about the round figure. It's hovering at the moment. It's just gone out on a weekly. Let's put it back to daily. The idea discussed is the range trade. If a bit of a weakening of the dollar comes through, which I suspect might happen, it might hold between these two areas here. So it's like a range trade between these two areas here. Okay, you with me? So that was the entry price, well, it's about the same as it was at the moment. See how that goes. But you should have all received it, so that's fine. Okay, but anyway, now you know. I'll knock that off. The other one was the URAUD. Let's put that up quickly. You should have received it, but do the figures there. But put it up just to see how it's doing. That got in at 37. No, it's not doing so well. Okay, 160. Well, that's not doing so well. At Euros, it was a bit of a. I don't think finally went into this feeling. It seemed to give us a bit of jip. Now, why is that 33? Okay, maybe we sent out and it was up there, then just came off and then bounced again. I don't quite know what that is. 37, strange, it should be going up. Anyway, it seems to be holding there on that area. I was a little bit unsure on the 4 hour, to be honest. It gave me a little bit of a jip, but I think overall, it's broken through there. And I think the euro's got to start coming around. AUD is fairly weak at the moment. China's suffered a little bit. Figures haven't been that great. As you know, they've got a big free trade agreement with China. So what happens to China happens to Austria to a certain extent. It's not their soul, but it's a big player in their economy. So bottom line is, I'm a little bit surprised there. But yeah, we got the trade out there and see how that goes on. So if you look to those two. Okay. Now, micro signal. Yeah, we just had it. We'll put it up for you again on the NAS. Certainly do that with pleasure. Just a second. What was it again? Just put the figures again. It's not the figures were 13,650 if I remember rightly, and I think it was a straight 13 grand. If I remember rightly, straight 13,000, no more, no less. Okay. I'll put a point north, might want for whatever reason. There we are. 45 rand a micro. There you are, Mandili, if you'll do it. If you please, Mandili, if you're already in the micro and NAS, which we had a trade out, don't do it. Hold on. But don't add to it, you'll be overexposed. But if you're not in it, then there you are.
I'm not in, sir. I got kicked on by the Dow Jones this morning, so it disappeared.
Okay, well, you kicked out in the profits. You're right on that one. Well done. Okay, now, yeah, if you want to do it, there are your figures. You got it? 45 bucks a micro.
Got it, sir. Thank you.
You got it. Good stuff. Okay. Right, we got a CHF JPY yesterday. Only for those guys on the QT group, and of course anybody trading. If you're in the trading room, you're automatically a VIP if you come to listen to me, and you need to be a VIP to listen to me all bloody day. So automatically. So that was a CHF JPY about 150 or better. Some guys got it slightly better than 150 because it came off a little about 10-15 pips before it went up again. So we were patient. We were patient because remember it's about 150, 150, 60. I think even Clinton mentioned, what do you reckon? Should we be patient this? And he said, yeah, be patient. And so we held on. It got to the 150. We got the signal out. Beautiful. And it dropped a bit below. And some of the guys in the trading would know we get the signal. It's 150. It's when you like it. It's 149.90. Well, you grab it because it's a better price. I hope you're learning. You don't put a buy stop in. It's a better price. Why would you buy a million rand house if the guy's offering for 950? No. I'll buy a million. No, get the better price. And well, I think it's gone up a little. What do you think, guys? Do you think 140 pips profit is okay? I think so. Yeah. So that was a nice one. We've done well before. We're doing well again this time. And I hope you guys didn't say, oh, well, no, I'm not going to do it. I hope you did do it. Now, Ken mentioned, should we move the stop loss? What do you think my reply is going to be to that? Okay? Do you think we should move the stop loss, guys? Or should we leave it at 149? What do you think I should be doing here? Hey? Move it. Oh, no. Leave the stop at 149. No, just leave it there. No, clearly you're going to move it. Now, we don't want to get too close. I'm going on about riding the profits. So I think 151's a bit close. We want it below the round figure. It's a little bit of minor support around the round figure. So I think I put it 150.90. 150.90. It's a 40 pip. You got space to let the noise do its bloody thing, and you're still banking a 90 pip profit, whatever happens. Nice way to go into the weekend. Okay. I'm just going to make you co-host, Clinton. If I just get you up there and running and riding there. Where's Clinton there? Where is he now? Here we are. Just made you co-host there, Clinton. If I'm busy looking at the screen and chatting away, and I don't let admit quick enough, you can admit as well. Okay. All right. So yeah, those do not chase now. Please, oh, hang on. Fear of missing out. FOMO. I think I'm going to grab this. Don't chase it now. You've missed that ship. If it comes back, get it next time. I hope it won't come back because obviously the guys are doing nicely. But yeah, good stuff. So that's doing pretty good. Modify, you got a winning trade in your hands, whatever happens. Morning, Pietro. What we discussed earlier on, we'll do in a minute. We'll just do a couple of trade ideas, and then we'll discuss what you mentioned to me earlier on. Okay. Just remind me of that if you don't mind. Happy? Good. Right. Before we go on to those two ideas, cool. Yeah. I want people to do that. I want them to engage. You know what I mean? The whole idea is this: is trying to get people to get the confidence to get there, if they can afford it, of course, to start getting their accounts properly, funded. Because approach it like a business. You pick what used to be in my old days. You pick up the newspaper. Now it's all online. You're doing to buy a business. You won't see many adverts to buy a business for about a couple of grand. Clearly, it's, you know what I mean. So, and if you did, there wouldn't be much in it. So, we're trying to get guys who can to start getting the confidence to put stuff in. You get your ups and downs like always, but yeah, you get my point. So, GBP-CHF. Some guys are in that. I know I am. I know Farney is. I hope you're still in Farney because it's doing okay. I hope you haven't just jumped the gun and taken your profit or put a 10 pip stop loss and been knocked out. I hope you're still there, mate. But the guys in it are now smiling. We took a bit of jip on it. That's why I say you got your strategy. It is looking a bit red. Not to panic. When you went in, you worked it out. If you've been to TI, you've been to classes, you know about the calculator. We're bringing in special calculator teaching classes now to try and get through to people. When you got your strategy, you know what your risk is before you place the order, so you're happy with it. Let the strategy work out. I mean, was it yesterday before the sea of red? Now I've got a sea of blue. What a pleasure. And some blues are going to red. A lot of reds are doing nice in the blue. It's up and down the market. I don't look at it all the time. I've got it down here somewhere. You get my point. Just out the bloody way. Don't let it screw with your head. And that's when you do funny things. Okay. Right. So GBP CHF. Clearly put your stop loss if you're in this one into, I don't know, 1.12, 40 pips above, make it 1.1210 or something like that, or even tighter if you want. But make sure you protect on this Farney and anybody else in it, so you are still going to get out of it whatever happens. You gave us a jip, now we're happy days, John. Okay, so I'm glad you're still in. Modify your stop and look after yourself. Excuse me. 13,650. Is that the amount you just lost in your last trade, Clinton? Just out of interest. Be honest now. Don't say buy to me, no sort. Yeah, that might be on your phone. Okay. If you give me the one, it's all written down. We'll do it. Okay. If you want to do a trade, it's all on your mailbox with all the details there. And it's the details on the QT website, not the QT app WhatsApp. But on the phone, I think it's just the banner. But if you want the details and a couple of trades, tell them what it is, and it's all here for you. Okay. Right. Or maybe Clinton can copy and paste for you, something like that. Okay. GBP. Okay, right. So where were we? Go back to a couple of trades we're looking at from Marius. All right, AUD USD. Just post it for him if you would on the chat line there, please, Clinton. GBP JPY. Right, you're looking for a buy in GBP JPY. Daily, crunch it a bit. Very good technical jargon, that, isn't it? Oh, I like it. We're talking about just now with Peter there. The trend clearly is up on that one. I hear you. I'm a little bit nervous of this one. It's maybe it's me. I don't know what you guys think. I think the Japanese yen is a pretty strong currency, and the pound, I think, is wavering a little bit. Technically, yeah, I agree. I'm just a little bit nervous of buying the pound, selling the yen. But from a momentum perspective, we discussed the momentum trade. Go through it quickly again with you guys for Clinton's sake as well, because you'll be talking about the EJS trade. You'll think, what the hell are we talking about? So I'll quickly explain just now to Clinton after this. So technically, I agree. I am nervous about selling the yen and buying the pound, to be honest. But from a momentum perspective, yeah, it looks some upside. Stop loss down here. You need it down here. It's going to be a wide stop unless you want to do a 4-hour stop. It's up to you. It's a pretty wide stop below there, but you're going to get the distance if it gets there. You can certainly get the risk reward. Anyone want to take this? I'm just being a bit of a chicken here for the reasons I gave, but it's not bad. Any comments? Clinton might not have been on. I don't think I'm on the phone to skip the full details. I think it's just that I don't know. Check on the phone. Don't really check the phone much except for prices, you know.
Yeah. So Roger, the reason why he did not give the full trade signal, his account balance is below.
Oh right, no. You shouldn't even trade. I'm sorry, really. But anyway, it's one of those. You cannot trade unless you got a couple of grand in your account. Minimum really 500. Even that's. Most trades you can't take because you'd be overexposed. In this one, 500, it's like having a pea shooter against a tank, like I mentioned yesterday. You're not doing yourself any favors there. And you won't get signals because you won't be able to afford them. You just don't have enough. And you're going to be asked to be margin called. You don't know why. You put the trade in, then it's hit, you're out before it's a stop loss, simply because you don't have enough money to maintain the free margin. If you want to trade, you've got to have 3 things, not 2, 3. If not 1, not 2, 3. You've got to have the right equipment, internet connection. You've got to have knowledge. You've got to have a balance like any other business. And trying to trade with a meal out, a hamburger out, it's not going to happen. So I'm sorry to be harsh on that. If you just try it out, play around if you like, but you can't because it's, as I say, you're underfunded as a business and you cannot diversify. All your money is in one area. All your eggs are in one basket. So you need to get it funded. Simple as that. It's for your sake, not for mine, your sake. Okay. That's why you won't get signals at that level because 90% you can't take. Look at the risks on. I'll show it to you now. See what I mean? If you got about, let's say, 400 rand in your account, you cannot risk more than 40 bucks. Otherwise, you're going to get margin call. And you might not even have the margin in the first place anyway. Let's see what the risk is on this. 75, it's too big. What's the risk on the other one? This is what, 120, even bigger. A guy can't trade this with less than 1,200 rand in their account. The other one can't trade less than 750. So you've got to understand that. Overexposing is an asking to what little money you've got is going as well. It's not a question I'll just build up from there. You might get lucky, but it'll take years and years and years. Fund the account, do the job properly. It's a business. You want to make money, you've got to put in to get out. Simple as that. Okay, not being harsh and being realistic for your sake. EJ, that's a different story. I'm awake here. Thanks, Madeira. Are you a professor or something? You just embarrassed Madeira. I saw your WhatsApp face there. You look like a professor to me. Right, EJ, yes, clear in the buy zone, the 1 hour. Yeah, what's the distance? 30 pips, a bit much. I prefer about 10, 15. I might push 20, but say 10, 15. 30 pips a bit much. We're getting a bit of a pullback on the 1 hour chart. Remember, these moving average are effective on all of them. So I agree with you totally, Madeira. Well done. You're alive on that. Well, wide awake on that one. But you might get a little bit better price to buy it on the EJ. Okay, I'm happy on that basis, yeah. But otherwise, I'm a bit nervous. But that's just me. A lot of the LIA is on there. Okay, so LIA, Morris, you do your own thing. You know the score. You know what you're doing. And you've gone against some ideas and you've done pretty damn well out of them. So you can make your own mind up on that one. But I just personally think on the EJ, we might skip for a moment. Okay, just try and get a better price, Madeira. And thanks for waking me up to it. You're on the ball, good man. Right, the other one is the US dollar Japanese yen. We'll come back to that in a minute if you want. dollar yen. Right. Might go the day here. Right up against resistance. I've mentioned my feeling that I'm not sure 102 is going to hold. That's just my feeling. Okay. The fundamentals might change that around. I still think that, remember in the past, the Japanese yen after the Swiss franc was the most stable currency in the world. Number one, Swiss and then this one. It's been a few problems with COVID being an exporting nation, higher oil prices, imports all of its oil. But remember, the debt to GDP is virtually the highest in the world. So they can't really increase interest rates. They're doing other areas by, by sort of basic bond buying, to be honest. But a lot of it exporting out of themselves out of trouble. And once they do that, unfortunately, when you export, it damages your currency. It starts strengthening it. Look at the German D-mark before it became the euro. It was just getting ridiculously strong and making the cars too expensive for them. Now they're laughing as part of the Eurozone. The yen doesn't have that privilege, but at the moment I still see the yen is a little bit on the area that could strengthen a bit. So I'm not so sure, even though it's range trade at the moment, whether I'd be buying the dollar and selling the yen. I'd rather buy the dollar against the New Zealand dollar or something like that than the yen, to be honest. It's got a bit of resistance up there as well. I'm not sure I'd be buying that one at all. I would, like the previous one I mentioned, I'm not sure I'd be buying the yen and selling the pound and selling the yen. I'm not sure I'll be buying the dollar and selling the yen on this one. That's just my personal opinion. I'm looking, might get some downside here. If you get up to the 10-day moving average and hold and maybe get a bit of confirmation, I think we can get a short one on that. That's my opinion. Okay, that's what I think. Okay. Any comments? Include yourself, Clinton. What do you reckon? Jose, anybody else out there? Dirk, anybody? Pietro, what do you think? It might be a threat. You adjusted stop loss there, Pete. If you adjusted a profit, so be it, to make a profit. Don't start moving it. And then you were up 10 rand. Now you're going to be up 0 rand. But hope you didn't adjust it away. If it did, well, that's up to you. I don't advise it. But that happens. I can't control the market price. Remember that. So it does what it does. Okay. Okay. Any comments on that? What do you think? Do you think a buy on this one, Clint, or anybody out there? I've stated my case. I see a sell. Do you agree? Thanks, Kearney. You agree with me on that one? I suggest a sell if you can get up to the 10-day moving average or slightly above around here. I think we get a sell on that one. I'm not keen on buying it personally, but I could be wrong. Anybody feels a buy on this one? Any comments? Okay, leave it alone. Okay, sorry, Morris. That's what we feel. You do your thing. Okay. You leave for now as well. Okay, fair. Thanks for the comments there. Thank you, Kearney. Thanks. We need those feedbacks. Very important. Remember, guys, this is a forum. We interact. I'm quite happy to not do the afternoon session and look after the guys, like I mentioned to the person at phone. We won't mention the name earlier on, to 9:05. I can spend more time with guys who've got Tom in their accounts. That's going to be beneficial to them. But I like the morning one to help everybody. But to be honest, from selfish reads, a lot of trades we evolve here in the trade room in the morning, and ideas which can be useful for everybody concerned within the quick trade, clients, or all of them, everybody, even the ones that don't make it because they can't work or whatever. So I'd like to keep that, so because we do get ideas out here, and they're not a lot of them, not mine, you know what I mean? And it's nice to have, for me personally as well, to share. I like moral support, and so it's good for me as well as the company, I think. So I'll probably stick with it. So I'm hoping so anyway. For that reason, okay, move on. Oh yes, it's going to see AUD NZD for a sell, pound dollar for a buy. KLD AUD NZD quickly. Well, quick, take as long as we like on it. AUD NZD. Just remember, as I mentioned before, they're very similar cultures, currencies, very similar. I mean, most people can't tell the accent. Like, as a Canadian American, they're speaking. Like, do you guys know that like Donald Sutherland is actually Canadian? I suppose most of you thought he was American. You get the idea. Pretty similar. But you're looking for a sell. Now, Morris, I don't think that's a bad idea. Technically speaking, I'm going to be discussing Pietro and what I was talking about earlier on. But the trend is clearly is down, as you can see. The moving averages are all there to give that. Maybe the 10, but the 10 is short term, remember that. But the bigger, longer term ones are all out on the negative zone. It's calmed down, it's broken through, it's gone back up, and that was resistance. Now it's changing to support. And we've got a few sellers coming in there as well. You can see, technically speaking, a few sellers. So let's look at the weekly. Yep, that's really hovering around that level there. And it's being defended. It did come down a bit, which is quite a decent 100-pip move down. Look at the 4 hour. The 4 hours a little bit concerning because it has taken out the 4 times 50, but the sellers are coming in. But then again, so the buyers. It's 10 o'clock now, right? That's only the lights gone on. Right? A lot of slow getting, okay? So not forget, hang on. Thank you. Don't want to leave later on and leave the bloody lights on. So yeah, it's a little bit of concern because that was just the wick above. I'd be more keen. This one's giving me a little bit of concern. 1 hour. Hope you're thinking it's pushing up a bit. Okay, putting that all together, I'd like your opinion, guys. What do you reckon? I'm thinking maybe confirmed breakdown around figure 107. I don't see the confirmed breakdown yet. It could move up a little bit further. It might even get up to here before it pulls off. I agree with the sell so far, or it could even get here before it pulls back. So I think personally it might be a little bit more prudent to see if we can break the 107 first before we get too cute on this one. Okay, Penson agrees. Anybody else disagree? That's another one. Do you think it's good for a short this stage, or you'd like the confirmation idea? We'll look at that in a minute, Pete, by the way. What do you reckon? There's the forum, guys. What do you think? Oh my goodness, what's happening there? Sorry, I'm going to jump there. Hang on a minute. What the hell's happening now? Wonder why that happened. I don't know. Anything come out? Look at the economic calendar here quickly. Anything come out with Swissy lately? No, there's no real major ones coming out. Pound at 8 o'clock, the GDP was the only one. GDP and the GBP is the only one. Just give me a second. I'm going to copy and post for you all, guys. You got it going forward. So I don't see on the economic calendar to tell. I don't know what that is. Maybe a big profit taking. Remember, every time you buy, someone's selling. Every time you sell, obviously going to bring the price down. Maybe an institution decided to have a very, very big position. A lot of institutional traders out there who got very large positions, they might have closed it. By closing it, selling it, might have moved it down. It looks like the 151 is holding. What didn't trigger your stop, did it? Didn't get stopped out. It should have just missed your stop. It nearly triggered the stop. The modified stop, that is. I hope you guys are still in it because it seems to be holding at 151 and move up. So leave your stop at 150.90 if you weren't stopped out, and just hope it bounces back up again. Hopefully 151 will hold. I can't really make any other comments on that. Okay, Mark, that's fair enough. Okay, if you want that, Pietro, that's fine. You want to ride this one, and you got faith in it. That's all that's telling me, that Pietro has big, major faith in this one, and he's going to ride it, and he's not going to get knocked out. He's looking for 153 like last time. No problem with that. You're still in, guys. Thank goodness for that. Look, it's starting to rise again. Okay, thank goodness for that. Don't be worried. Okay, I thought was on now. AUD USD. Okay, we'll move on from that. So you're going to leave alone for now and get a maybe do something later on. Okay, fine. Wait for confirmation. You're happy with that? Just look at something else. Thanks for drawing my attention to it. Who's that? CHFJPY. Thank you, Karen. Thanks for drawing my attention to it. Okay. Before we go to pound dollar, look at the CAD because summer's in it. That takes precedence. That's take major precedence, in fact. Right, dollar CAD. Let's look at the 1 hour. I don't know. You're in it. You're in a profit. I'm not sure jumping out. Seems to be holding all right. What's the dollar doing? Just post that for you in case you haven't got it. So the dollar, actually, dollar's, I don't quite know why. So the hourly range trade at the moment from about 102 to about 102.50. It's popped up. But, so that might be a little bit of a cause for a concern if you're long. No, it shouldn't be the other way around. What are you short long? Sort of long way around. Hang on. What were you in there, Pete? Were you long or short? You're going to buy. Well, the dollar's actually going up a little bit as we speak. So no, hold on. I know what price you got in at, but I'd modify your stop to protect yourself as per normal. Don't get it too close, normal rules. Okay. But looks like it might, if the dollar continues up, surprising me, it might take out the round figure of 135. You might get a bit of noise here. If it comes back there, you might be tempted to take it. Give it a few moments, it might break through and ride a bit further. If it comes back and you do get stopped, I hope it's a nice profit. But I think you might just hold fine for a second. Not this week, no. Maybe next week, I haven't checked, but not this week, no, on the Aussie. Okay, so no fundamentals coming out the rest of the day of any big imports. So we're okay on that. So worry about it, or lack of worry. Okay, I think I'd hold on to that. Okay, it might take out 135. As long as you adjusted your stop loss accordingly to protect and not too close. Okay. Good enough. Okay, good stuff, Pete. I'll put the yields up for you as well. Remember the yields on the 10-year, the most traded note or bond in the world, the paper, if you like. They call it the vanilla paper, interesting enough, as the most traded in the world. Just give me a second. I'll do two things at once here. So not aware of it. It's useful to have. Keep that. Right. If we're worried about the yields, not the bond itself, the yields, that gives you the yields on this particular one. Okay. I'm just putting the candle up. I copy and paste it on the line chart. Just make sure you got the candle chart. Okay. Right. Just remember, yields keep an eye on, and the DXY, the dollar index. If they both go up, it's negative for the shares and gold. If it goes down, it's positive for shares and gold. Only change of that might be, well, apart from emotional interpretation, anything like that, sometimes it can even go up on the gold if there's a little bit of a fear factor out there, maybe in India or Middle East or China or something like that, where they might start buying a large amount of gold bullion and getting a bit worried. That will obviously force the price up. Okay, it's a big fear factor involved. Just bear that in mind. Now, I want to go and look at gold. That gave us a bit of jip yesterday for whatever reason. As I say, it has suddenly come down again after having that. We put the daily update this morning out. That's just some reason why. It was very delayed, the reasons why. But the dollar's going up a little bit as we speak, which has had a bit of a negative effect on gold. It's a bit of a pity because, as I say, it was at over 2040 at one stage. And that's why you should be modifying your stop. And most of you should have been actually, in theory, stopped out. Not much, but at least in a slight profit. Now the guys are getting a bit of jip on it, and it's now come back that area. Where it's going to go from here is a bit of anybody's guess. You got it's only $2 away. You might as well hang on to it and just hope maybe it's going to hold, and then you go up again. But at the moment, it might get back to 2,000, to be honest. So you got it. Let it run. Don't get cute. Don't buy, sell, do anything with it. And just keep an eye on that dollar index. So you can take out 102 to the downside, you might get a bounce back up again. But it looks like unless that happens, you might retrace to 2,000. Don't get out, leave it. You got your strategy, and just stick with it. Hope for the best. Okay. Hope you all got that. There's a few things explained, so I'm speaking fairly quickly. If I'm going too fast, let me know. As it turns out, but that's more luck than judgment, you know what I mean? Okay, Kenny, fair enough. Fair comment. Okay, GBPUSD, you're going to buy stop at 12534. Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. I know it's in the buy area. That could happen. I think the pound's not that great a currency, but I just think the dollars is a lot of talk about. I don't know if you've heard that the BRICS council will get like their own euro, their own sort of currency, if you like. Will that materialize? Having a meeting in August about it, but I won't get too excited about that. A lot of countries, China, sick their death of being controlled by the dollar, oil pricing forward on the dollar. But that's been talked about for a while. So just so you see that in the news, don't get too excited. I reckon it's going to be a long time before major shifts from the dollar, but we'll see. But the bottom line is there's getting a little lack of faith in the dollar. And I can understand why. It's not the frustration of it. It's just the fact that the way they're running the setup now, and we've discussed many times, is not, you know, they're borrowing like mad. They're going to move that debt ceiling up, having another meeting in a week's time. Trust me, they're going to move that bloody debt ceiling. The alternative is too awful to think about. Even Jamie Dimon, CEO of JP Morgan on Bloomberg this morning, saying what I'm saying. The alternative is too catastrophic. They'll move it up. It's just ego playing amongst powermongers at the top. McCarthy is now the what you call it, the Senate. What do you call it? The not the leaders. It is the leaders. I think it's the Speaker. That's right, Speaker of the Senate, third in line if the Republicans get in to the presidency, and fighting it out with the Dems. And they all vote obviously to their own party, but that will go up. So I'm not too confident on the dollar. As a buy on here, you might get a bit of a bounce up, even from buy stop or whatever. It is in the buy zone. I get that. To be honest, I don't have that much faith in either of those at the moment. I'm gonna leave it alone for that reason. But on a technical basis, quite frankly, it's a buy. Pure technicals, leaving everything else out, purely on momentum or a buy. That's it. Momentum. So let's have a look at momentum on the EJ. Yeah, it's a buy on the EJ, but the other one, I'm going to sit on the fence a bit on that one, to be honest. I'm going to be able to cluck on that one. But maybe I'm being a bit of a chicken here. Anybody technically see that as a buy to take it up? Great comment. Anybody else? Because technically, yeah, as you can see clearly, technically, I gave them my reason on those. I might be just be a bloody coward.
You know, I wanna buy it, and I like the risk and reward. I mean, look at it's at the bottom of that candle. Yesterday's candle also.
We can certainly get a risk roll down there. We'll do that then. CP, we can make it up here. 1.2626. Oh, thanks for letting me in. Thanks, Clinton. That's not good work. Yeah, just squeeze it in there. There you go. See what I'm saying, guys? You don't have. Thanks for mentioning that earlier on, Clinton. There's 120 if you wanted to take that. You shouldn't be risking more than 10%. 10% is very big. Worldwide traders look at 2%, sometimes 3%, sometimes 1%. 10% is huge. You've got no choice. But even on 10%, you need 1,200 rand your account to do it. And even if you're in a position, you can't do it because you won't have enough free margin to maintain the trade. If you don't have any free margin, you're going to get margin call. So please try and get funds in, because you're not going to make it in this business going in against a tank with a pea shooter. Try and understand that, okay? For your sake. Good, Dirk. So you're getting the idea. Okay, Ken likes it. He's an experienced trader. Do you want to go along with him? Anyone will go along with him? I stated my case. The others stated theirs, but not to stop you if you like it. Any comments on it? If 2 people like it, Clint will write it down and then measure it going forward. If you do, just put down Ken beside it, or whoever suggested it. I can't remember who suggested it. Just they get the accolades it works out. It's nice, like a sort of a Zoom accolade, if you like. Oh, you would do that? Okay, you're fine. Okay. I'm not getting any feedback on it, so Ken, if you want it, there it is. Okay, right, I'll knock it off. Not getting feedback on that, so I'll knock it off. Now, just when it comes to something that Pietro mentioned, he says some of the trades we talked about come out, because I'm not saying anything behind anybody's, but I'm sort of giving you any private information. He said a couple of trades haven't really worked out for him. He's getting a bit sort of nervous about it. And I get that completely. We need confidence building, is what life's all about. And so just give me Pietro, just give me an example of the trades you meant. We can discuss it here now. Give me one you thought was a trader buying, it should have been a sell when against a trade. Just give me copy down the live chat that, and I'll bring it up here and we'll discuss it, the reason behind it. Because I promise you, I don't just give a stat sum because we better get a trade out today. Let's send them out of GBP, JPY and sell. What the hell? Trust me, I don't do that. WTI.
Okay.
Which one, Pietro? Which one is it?
Okay, Roger. Okay, what I see. Okay, just please forgive me because I'm going to point to what I learned from Stock Market College. Is that like with the moving averages and the stochastic movement and the MACDs and stuff like that. Whenever we see a cross with the fast moving average crossing from the top, we know it's a sell. When it's crossing from the bottom, it's a buy. Now, let me take the gold from example yesterday. The signal was that we had to buy it. What was it? 2021, I think.
2020.
But yes, but what I saw in the stochastics on the daily chart, there was going to be a cross for a sell signal. So this is what confuses me. And I look at the 4-hour chart and the 1-hour chart as well, and I see it all seems to be going down with the momentum on the stochastics. So this is what I can't understand is how it can be a buy, but yet it's going the opposite way according to the stochastic. You understand what I'm saying? There's a lot of this type of thing that's happening, and I'm very confused.
Okay, right. Number one, the gold is moved big time by the yields and the dollar strong all week. Number one, and number two, it came down to a very strong set area of support. That's why we did it round about the 2020-ish mark, and that was whenever it went out. Okay, and there's a lot of fear in the extreme debt the world's going over on the fundamental area as well. Now, moving averages crossing. I've used, when Gerard's in next week, we'll discuss a few of them on the exponential crossing. Will have to be short term. But I'm a few years back, I had a look at some of the shorter term moving averages crossing and uncrossing, etc. And I did a few back trades on it, and it didn't really work out. The problem with stochastic, it follows the price action. That's why I hardly ever use them. I'm not saying they're wrong. That's why they're there. There's a lot of them there. But I tend to, maybe what I do is I look at the price action and I look at the candle to see what the buyer and the sellers are doing. Now that tells me immediately, I can see right now, let's take a 1-hour chart. I can see immediately it's coming off and then a few buyers are being attracted on gold. That's telling me that. And looking at the stochastic, it's starting to point up. The reason that's pointing up is because it's delayed. Depending on the algorithms you put in there, the shorter term algorithms more quickly it responds, but it's still delaying the price action, where the candle price action is immediate, and that's telling what's happening. Now, if that continues up, the price action is going up for whatever reason we often discuss in the trading room, stochastic will clearly follow it. So you're looking at the stochastic, it's telling you what the actual price action is doing. It's like having a look at when you see it's pouring a rain and you're checking, is it raining or not? Let's check my barometer. Well, I don't care what the barometer says, it's bloody well raining, you know what I mean? And that's the reason. So relying on lagging indicators, I personally, I'm not a great believer. I go for the ABC principle, you know, A, B, C, A, B, C, like you know what I mean? So let's try a bit of an example. That's not a very good one, and maybe to a very better example. Sort of an A, you can't do it exactly B. Now it's coming down. You're waiting for a C low support. In other words, it's coming down from the ceiling, and you want to see if the floor is going to hold on the fourth floor. If it breaks through, then you think, well, there could be a change of trend down on the third floor. But I want to see if it's going to bounce off the floor, and if it does, that to me is a far more powerful indicator to go in with the stop loss, the wait for stochastic, MACD, relative strength, Bollinger Band, what else? There's several of them out there to start saying, they're turning, let's go up. Now, let's say it's down here. This is where your stochastic is. It's not going to go below there. It's not going to go down to below zero. Let's think this thing continues to fall. That's going to hover around there. So what's that telling you? Oh, it's low. Let's go and buy it. No, it could still be flying down. And there's probably a lot of fundamental reasons behind it, as well as technical, etc. So I personally say the moving average, the Devil's Cross, the Golden's Cross, and that, they're all lagging, and especially on long term, they're so out of date by the time they're confirming when the thing shot through the roof. In fact, when they start to cross on the upside, I'm thinking it's overvalued. It might be an idea to sell the damn thing, and even not just exit if I'm on a long, but actually sell it short because it's so lagging. I'd rather see a filter here. It's above the 50 and the 200. That's the most important by far of the two. And above that 100, it's an extra one. And to less extent the 10, if you like the 20, that might confirm or whatever. But certainly those ones there tell me it's still fairly strong. The overall area out there is fear. We're all talking about recession. We're all talking about inflation, which is going to be, quite frankly, hopefully, in theory anyway, not hopefully, sorry, in theory, positive for gold. Gold's the name of the game. These are pullbacks to be buying on the long side. That was the idea behind it. But the major key to answer your question there, Peter, and to everyone else there, is I don't use many. I'm not knocking. A lot of guys do. Love them. If you're happy and it's working for you, clearly use them. I don't. I look at the fundamentals. I look at support and resistance and the moving averages. And I might put in a trend line or a Fibonacci or a channel line, as we did yesterday for that trade idea. I'm quite happy with that, Clinton. But I don't use these very much. I rather look at what the candle's doing, because that tells me immediately. These guys are telling me after the fact. I see it's raining, I put my raincoat on. I don't want to be confirmed to put my raincoat on. I'm getting drenched by looking at my damn barometer. So that's the sort of principle.
Okay, you just answered one important question for me, which I could never understand. Like you said, on the daily chart, by the time, say, the price has moved up, the stochastic's only catching up, by then the price has already shot through the roof.
Yeah, that's right.
Now you've answered something I could never understand that.
Got it now. Brilliant.
Okay, so now I understand. So you basically using support and resistance, and to see which way the price is going on the candle, and obviously the psychology of the candle. Am I correct?
Well, psychology is based the price action.
Yes, of course.
That same thing. I mean, I personally think your house you're selling there is terrible. Now, I think that, but everyone else there thinks it's a wonderful house. So buy the bloody house. You get it? Or I think it's a fantastic house where everyone is selling in your area. I think you're a fantastic area. Everyone else is selling in your area. Sell the bloody house. I think hamburgers is junk food. When everyone's queuing up to go to McDonald's, they're not queuing up to going to my little bistro or the French haute cuisine, you know. That's empty. Well, buy the bloody hamburger business. You can still eat your French cuisine in your private life, but buy the bloody hamburger. You get the idea. So, yeah, the price action is really what's happening, and you follow the money. They say smart, make all you like, you follow the money. I don't care what happens.
Yeah.
Buy it, you'll move it up and vice versa. If that's what you want to be following. And I was embarrassing Clint by his technical knowledge. He's very much better on the whiteboard than me. Ashley was outstanding on it. I'm not that great at it. But if I can show you better, he'd probably show you better next week, the ABC theory. That to me is really what I've looked at, sort of, analysts say, practiced, whatever, found far better, coupling with some sort of general knowledge of what's happening now in the economic world, like listen to Bloomberg or whatever, catching up than following some lagging indicator. And especially crossing and uncrossing and moving averages, they're telling you, let's say this was the A down here support, and I suggest you buy there. If you're going to wait for your stochastic, you're buying there. So you've got a stop loss down here, and you're in there, and you've got a TP there. You might have got the reward, the risk reward, but the guy's already in. So you're entering now here, which is maybe 30 pips later, because you're waiting for that thing to give you confirmation. And then it suddenly decides to turn anyway, and you've bought up there, and these guys are now stopped out in the break even. Now you're in a bloody loss now because that thing now changed its mind because it's following the candle. So keep an eye on that candle. There's lots of fancy names for them. If you forget them, go to your course. You can get them on, I don't know, Google or where, I don't know. But the point is, the fancy names for it. All it's telling you is what the buyer and seller are doing. That's what you want to know. And the highs and lows. You sit in a room, look at the ceiling, look at the floor. That's your range. You want to be buying if it's near the floor with your stop loss below in the third floor and your TP in the fourth floor within the range just before the ceiling. Because you don't want to put it above the ceiling because it might not break the ceiling. That's why we have buy stops. You got it. That's why we have buy stops. We think it's going to break the ceiling, but we don't want to be on board. There's a confirmation it's gone from the fourth to the fifth floor. Otherwise, why would you have a buy stop? Why would you say I'm going to put off to buy the house at 1.1 million when it's gone on the market at 1 million? Because I want to confirm it's going to break up. If it doesn't, the price of the house might fall off. That's what it's about. Are you happy with that? Now, going back to stock market,
happy.
To get CETA approved, you've got to have that part of the course. You're going to go for a degree in law. You might not lose 70% of the stuff you get your degree in, but you've got to have it part of the curriculum. But then you go into a company specialize in one aspect of the law, and then you'll be more practiced at it. But you've got to have the rounded area. So you get all that area there of all the different stuff. That's all the theory. You learn it. You've got the background of it, and that's when you come and put it into practical use, which going forward will be in the morning session. But this is not just me. Other people have talked about it, and there's a big game changer about 4 or 5 years ago when a guy said to me, "Don't pay good money to go to a concert, sit in the front row, and then look at it with your binoculars or on the TV." Or if it's, you put the TV down, put the binoculars down or wherever, and look at the stage because that's what you're paying for. You know what I mean? So look at the price action. That's the action. That's the stage. That's where the guys are jumping up and down and playing the guitars. Don't look at the bloody gas fix. You can, but I mean, there are reasons. Don't get me wrong. I'm not negating. I'm just saying. Rather look at the price action.
Thank you, Roger. You've pointed out something to me now that I didn't realize why I was always making a mistake. Now I understand. Thank you very, 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 very much. That's a very key point for me. Thank you very much.
And I want to point out on that for everybody else there. Don't think I don't want to go and upset Roger and contradict him. You're going to be upset. No, he's not. It might be something I can handle, or he might say, "My goodness, I didn't know that. You've got a point I can learn." Try, guys. Ladies laugh at this. Try, guys. And suppress your male egos a little when it comes to trading. I don't care if you've been doing for 20 years or 20 minutes. Rather be open-minded to learn. And that's what we're trying to encourage people to do. And look at it. And we came up with the AJ idea, which I'm going to go into now for Clinton's benefit and those who don't know it. Simply the trading wasn't even my idea. I liked it. I went with it. I ran with it. And I made tweaks it a bit. I'll give you that. But it wouldn't originate. So that's what we all encourage. And I'd want to do it publicly so we can all learn. There's a reason. Plus, also, it makes you understand that you can trust me in the fact that I give you some sort of idea behind it. Because very much, especially when a person starts, they don't know us. And of course, the fear levels are high, the trust levels are low. I'm trying to sort of bring the fear levels down, the trust levels up by showing. That's why I've shown you a couple of reds on my trading as well as blues. Every time you go Instagram, they only print the blue. You know what I mean? I'm trying to show the realistic area. And that usually I find very positive for people because now they can start believing it. No, everybody knows it's not going to be sunshine every day. Everyone knows they're married. They must in 20 years have at least one eye. And then it shows credibility. And that's what we're trying to sell here. At least I'm trying to sell anyway. Okay, got it. And as Ken said, they're lagging. Bear that in mind. Now, EJ principle. I want to explain that. This involves the trading room. That's why people won't know about it. That's why I say, don't think, go and discuss it next to doing stock market college or whatever. They don't have a clue what you're on about. It was just an idea, nothing to do with fundies, with the exception you check the fundamental calendar before you jump into it. I don't care what momentum, what technical, I don't care what stuff, what. If a major fundamental's coming out, forget the technicals. It'll go to the support or resistance like a knife through butter, the fundamentals. But there's no fundamentals coming out. We're not worried about anything else. It's purely momentum. We're calling EJ after Etienne Joubert, because he came in WhatsApp and we discussed it privately. Not private to my business, but I mean not in the trading room. And I thought I'd put it to him and have a bit of a go. We've been doing for like 2 or 3 weeks. What it is, we go to the day chart and we look purely on momentum, nothing else. I'm just going to get rid of this because it's taking up a bit of space here. Don't clutter your charts, guys. Just, yeah, keep it uncluttered if you can. You don't want to have it where you can't see the wood for the trees. Is it in the buy or zone? How do we define the buy zone? It's above the brown and the blue. All have that. Don't forget, guys, templates, save your template. Just quickly before I forget. Save it. Put your name and save it. So you lose your charts, go back, right click, templates, there it is. Okay. Now, the black is nice, but we're using purely the blue and the black, the brown for this one. If the price at the market price is between the two, you ignore it. If it's above the two, you're going to look for a sell. If it's below the two, you're looking for a buy up here, below the two, a sell. You check on the daily. Then you go to the 1 hour. That's when you need the 10-day, in this case, the 10-hour moving average. If it was above the 10-hour moving average, you would buy it, okay, with a 50 pip stop. We're not in gold, sorry, it's slightly different on gold. So we don't use gold, do not use the ZAR for this, only the crosses and the majors, okay, to the GBP USD. Now go back to the daily. Is it in the buy zone, above the brown, the blue? Clearly, obviously, yes. Then you go to the hourly. Is it below, because we're looking, sorry, get the right way around, buy, sorry. Is it above this one? It's mentioned just now, GBP USD. Yes, it is on the hourly. What was my concern just now, pointing out Madiri very cleverly put, it was a little bit high just now to go for it, but it's only 14 pips above. I think, but 15 or above, that's just a ballpark, roundabout. We're still finding a way along around this, but 15 pips probably around at the maximum. If it's in other words, about just a few pips above, but not too far away, then you can buy it. No more, no less. You're looking for momentum. So then what you do is you put a 50 pip stop in, no TP, and then you put a trading stop in. Now it's correct, it goes up, but let's say you're about 30 pips in profit. You can cancel your trading stop and then change it over to a 30 pip trading stop. If it goes up a bit more, then you can cancel your trading stop at 30 and then put in a 20. And you continue in that way till you eventually stopped out. Simple as that. No more, no less. Do it once more. Example, just so you get this. Let's pick another one. NZDCHF. Remember that for a while. Go to the daily. Is it in the buy or the sell? If you think that's in the buy zone, I can strongly recommend going to an optometrist. What's it called? Name it. Now I was going to try and send it to you, because if you think that's in the buy zone, obviously kidding, clearly and obviously in the sell zone. If you're looking to sell, remember the word sell. You go in there. Yes, it is below. Next thing you check, any fundamentals? No. Is it too far away? 23 pips too far away. If it was round about this level here, you might be doing it. You know what I mean? It's there, probably would be selling it. Pure momentum. And then what is a 50 pip stop? Work on 90 rand. So you work on 90 rand, then to put the position size calculator up, work on 90 rand a micro. And as it subtly goes into profit, you can modify your trading stop to maybe 30 and eventually 20 till you eventually stopped out. Okay. VisionWorks, that's the one. Suggest you go to VisionWorks if you think that one was in a buy instead of a sell. Yeah. Okay, so there we are. Now, let's say the price action on the daily, so I can find one. What this one here? In the neutral zone. It's sort of in the neutral zone. It's not totally, but let's pretend it's in the neutral zone. Ignore it. Just don't waste your time. Go on to the next. You might find a normal trade on it, but you wouldn't be doing it otherwise. NZDCHF, you know I'm a great lover of the CHF. That's clearly in the sell zone, but not ignore the black. If it gets in the way, take the black off, and then what you do is you right-click, go to templates, and then you put in save the template, and this time you can put in EJ or momentum or something like that. Call it EJ. EJ strategy, EJS in there, and then save it. So you can have the normal one and then switch over to the EJS if you want, which won't get the 100-day cluttering up. I'm used to it now, so it didn't bother me, just so you know. So it's clearly below that one and that one, so you look to sell. Go to the hourly, Is it below the red? Well, maroon or magenta rather. Yes, it is. How far away? 22. It's a bit far to be joining it now. I think the ship sailed a bit. Around about these levels or these levels, you could be looking at going for it. And then you just keep an eye on it until the eventually stopped out, or it starts jumping up radically. But if you go down to 20, probably stop it out anyway. And we've had some success on that. Just something for the trading room. I need to spell that out because Clint's going to be here, and you need to understand what the hell you're talking about. Because you can look a bit blank if you start going about. Madeira says, what about for an EJ? It's going to be a bit flustered. Now, you know what we're on about. Any questions on that? Do you want me to do another example? And you'll get help from the others, Clinton. Trust me, they're a pretty good team in here. Anna Marie, Ken, Farney, Brian, whoever. Dirk, they'll help you out if you forget it, whatever. All right, Petra, another one. Pick one. Let's pick one. I'll pick one for you. Don't be here all day. US dollar, Swiss franc. What the hell? Let's do. We haven't looked at that for a while. Go to the daily. First thing, go to the daily. Now, Pietro, is it above or below the blue and the brown? Don't answer. The answer is rhetorical. That means it's something obvious. It's in the sell zone. Go to the hour. Look for the 1 times 10, the 10-hour moving average. Is it below? If it's above, you ignore it because you're looking for a sell. It's got to be below the 10-hour moving average. Yes, it is. What is the distance? 11 pips. You can look at that one. So therefore, you'd be looking at this as a sell. I quite like it anyway because I'm going to back the Swissy against the dollar any day. Okay, and then you can look at that as a sell. So you go in. You don't even need the position size calculator. Tell you right now, write this down. 90 rand a micro is your risk. Then you can work out your risk accordingly. And then you don't put a TP in, no TP. You put the sell in, and then you put the stop loss in, or at 50 pips above, or a trading stop. Do you all know how to do a trading stop? I'll just show you quickly again. Just give you an example in the trading stop. What you do there is you see that little icon beside there, CAD CHF, you right click on it, you go to trading stop. This is important. The trading stop is in points. This is an international, originated from the UK trading platform, which a large amount of brokers, including Quick Trade, use. It's not us, it's another separate company. And there's a lot of players out there who've got individual accounts bigger than our entire Quick Trade book. So the points to them count. It does not count to us because we haven't got big enough accounts, and you're after pips, not points. 10 points, 1 pip. So if you're going to put a 50 pip in, you've got to put 500. Multiply the pips by 10, and then you okay it. And then you'll have a stop loss in floating. Sorry, floating. Yeah, it's a trading stock, beg your pardon. Then you can do this once an EJ1, it's found it, stumble on it. Sell on an EJ1, and then after, let's say it does come down, it takes out 89, gets down to 88.70 or something like that, 88.75, I don't know. Then you can go back. What you do then, it'll have a T there. Sorry, guys. It'll have a T there. You've got a trade stop, have a little word there, little letter called T there, capital T actually. Then you go there, you right click, you go to trading stop. We're doing wrong here, Clinton, tell me, because I'm not as technically up as you know. Then you click out none, you cancel the bloody thing. Okay, then you go in again and you just change it this time to 30 pips. Okay, and then you might want to change it then again down the line to 20 pips, trading stop till you eventually stop down. You don't have a TP and you just continue to eventually stop down. Have you got that now, guys and Pietro? Pietro? Any questions on that? The other guy's here to help you, by the way. Clint said the first time, so I think you might have it. I don't know. You've got it. So if you've got it, you're comfortable with it, and you're in the training, you can help. Dirk, you can help. Brian, you can help. Fine, if he's here. Anna Marie, whoever who's there who knows it. Ken, of course, they'll assist you if you're still scrambling around as well. Okay, but that's simple momentum. It's purely from the trading room. Don't discuss. We can't discuss it. We don't ask their opinion. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Okay, you all got it. Quite useful. So here's one you can do. You can sell that one. Now let's go to the normal one now. Okay, I personally think this can even not be too bad as normal. I'm trying to give you the habit of not looking at this all the time. Get rid of it. Not get rid of it. I mean, get it out of the way. It screws your head in. More mistakes are made by staring at the damn thing and emotion taking control of the ups and downs, the noise of the market. So out of the way, you've got your strategy, not screw your head in. That was a red the other day, now it's a blue. You get a general idea. Right. Now, I think it's a possibility. It's trying to get back below 102 on the dollar. I like the Swiss. I think the dollar is pretty weak. I think the Swiss is the strongest one we got. There might be a possibility of even a normal trade this. EJ, I like it if you want to do it. There, the EJ, if you want to do it. And it's a separate trade. You've got enough free margin. You can do a normal one, stop loss TP, and be in on the EJ, even though it's the same instrument. Make sure that you don't overexpose in the normal way, and make sure you've got enough free margin. No, they won't help with MT5. That's for platform trading, EJ. I've got to make this clear. Where we've got a large amount of clients, and us brokers, we get very, very busy. We're here to help with trading. The understanding operation of the platform is entirely the responsibility of the trader. I don't know another broker even gives platform trading. I've looked at quite a few years ago at a couple of other brokers, and there it is. You work it out. We actually do platform trading. That comes every 6:30 every evening, and 9 o'clock in the evening, 9:30. I can't remember that. I don't do it anyway. I think it's 9 o'clock. Anyway, at platform trading, it's on the website. You check the times, trading, everything on the website there. You can check it out. It's even on the portal under Trading Experience. It's up to you to learn how to operate the platform and set it up. Platform trading will assist you in that. You can't trade without it, and don't ask a broker to help you place a trade. That is your job. You'll get the signal, they'll get the trade idea. It's your job to place it. Very important. Okay, hope you're good with that, is it? Fine. And Clinton's on the ball, he's got it. There you are, all sorted. This is very much, I'm trying to get through to guys, of you helping you to learn how to fish yourself. It's not a question, we'll fish for you, and hey presto. So it's your money, it's your decision, we advise. We're not running your business for you, we're here to advise. Whether you take the advice or not, it's up to you. If you take it, it's incorrect, well, so be it. That's why we're strong on my qualifications, because if I advise you correctly, you're going to get upset. But I don't advise you incorrectly. The market doesn't do what I bloody well tell it. Unfortunately, at times, that's the way it is. I certainly don't do that on purpose. You know what I mean? So you can't come back and say, we can't be like, but you can't take me to court on it because I did my best, and that's a fact. Okay, so you get the idea. But it's your job to fund it, get the knowledge, and get the right equipment, and responsibility to place the trade accordingly. Okay, right, sorted. I think it's a possibility of downside anywhere there. It's a bit range trading. I give you a due. It is Friday. I give you a due. You might want to wait for Monday on that. I hear that big time. And the range trade is probably the major reason why I'm a little bit not so sure. If it was here, I'd be a lot more sure. That's about what 20 pips higher. If it was about 89, 30, 40, somewhere out there, I'd be very much more confident or sure. But I still see a bit of downside. But just one of the weekend coming up, and a few buyers came in the 4 hour. Let's look at the 1 hour. You see what I mean? It's drifting along. I think a lot of that drifting along, to be honest, is at a bit of indecisive month, never mind week, with what's going on in the world out there. Friday coming up, a lot of guys might be squaring their books or a bit hesitant or whatever. But keep this down as a trade idea. If you can jump a bit for possible shorts, maybe on Monday. But if somebody likes it now, we can look at it. I'm starting, unless you talk me into it, I'm a bit wavering on this. I'm wavering towards wait till Monday. But if you guys are pretty strong about it, I might sort of be a bit of a floor crosser and become a trading marine instead of a trading chicken. You see what I mean? Okay. Come to that in a minute, Marnie. If you got to go, you got to go, Morris. Okay. If it's for long, I'd be very surprised, Marnie. Buying that in the sell zone and buying the dollar against the Swiss franc, that dollar's got to do some getting off its ass on a serious note to me to convince me of that. But yeah. Okay, so we'll move on. Euro dollar. Yeah, leave the moment. Okay, of course, come back to your decision. Euro dollar. What do you want to do about the euro dollar, Marnie? What do you want to do with it? Always put down what you want to do with it. not say, let's look at the euro dollar, buy it, sell it, what do you want to do with it? Well, you can learn about it here, I've just shown you. Quite simple. Whilst mine is answering, tell you it takes 2 seconds. See right on the left there, little icon there. If it's red, it means it's a sell. If it's the blue color, it means it's a buy trade. Right click, go to the trading stop, custom, and put in pips, which is 10 points 1 pip. So you want a 30 pip stop, you put in 300, and then okay it. And cancel it by right clicking and pressing none. Simple as that. Don't need a whole bloody lesson on it. So you want to go euro dollar long. Okay, so you want to buy the. We've had some problems with the euro lately because it's been doing some funny things. You know, hawkish Lagarde and interest rate goes up. That means euro goes up. No, it didn't. So that doesn't exactly, it shakes your confidence when people do crazy things. You know what I mean? Having said that, I prefer the euro to the dollar, to be honest. At the moment, things might change. So not totally against that. We're clearly looking right down there. We talk about MACD, that means moving average divergence, convergence all the way around, convergence divergence rather. It's pretty well diverged. It means it's quite strong from the history point of view. So it's definitely the strong zone. It's come back as a bit of support here. I personally prefer the euro to the dollar. So let's have a look. Maybe look this little bit of area. That's easy. Maybe get it down here. And that's a bit, maybe down here. Looking at that's a bit too wide. Maybe 100 pips stop. Maybe that's a bit too wide. You'd have to take, if you like that, you have to take it up there. You might even have to take it higher to get a risk reward. But I'm angling on correct. But I personally, ideally, would like to get it out here. If it comes here and bounces, I'm your man. This one, I like it, but you'd have to have a stop down here somewhere and take it up to. You still have, you take it out there. You can't take it here. You got to take it there to get a risk reward. Okay, you get next session. Clinton will talk about it. If he needs any help, he's only seen it the first time. Farney will help. Finds out he's not here to be too embarrassed, which he is. Well, embarrassed anyway. Very clever guy. He'll help out. There's other guys there. Derek knows the score. Ken's certainly experienced. They'll help you out. Ken's very jacked. Sorry again, embarrassing Ken there. Marnie's very jacked. They'll help out. So when you get a quiet moment in the trading room, go until it becomes fairly straightforward. Okay. Don't forget, you will not learn how to drive or fly an aircraft after one lesson. Give yourself a break here. Yeah, I would agree on that. Unless some fundy stuffed the game up with that. Okay. Happy with that? Now, something I thought about WTI. We're doing fine yesterday, and then it decided to come off a bit. But is it going to maintain that? Still seems a bit sideways. It's come off a little bit, but I don't know. We've got to stop out of the way, let it run. Join it now. I'm not actually against that. You might feel I'm not going to, if you are, obviously don't do it. If you're not in, I'm not against getting a better price. So you don't want to join it now. I will see upside on this one. I do not see the producers being happy with a price below 70. It might momentary pop there, but all they're going to do is start closing that. You know what I mean? So they don't want to screw us at $100, but they don't want to go bankrupt. They want their income, you know. Do you know something? China imports 10 million barrels a day. That's hectic. That's $700 million a day. That's the cost of bringing their oil. That's incredible, isn't it? What's that? 7 times 3 is 2.1. That's what's that? 7 billion. Yes, over 20 billion US dollars. That's about 350 billion rand a year importing oil. God, that might pay for a week of ESCOM in debt, wouldn't it? Hey, brilliant. Yeah, so bottom line is, I still think if you're not in, I still think you could do worse than joining on that one. So anyone mentioned the WTI. If you're in, hold, bouncing around, the profit come off a bit. If you want to do it, yeah, go for it. Use the same figures and get a better risk reward on the original signal. if you're not in. Okay, Matt, good stuff. So you'll get the hang of it. It's EJ, momentum strength, what do you want to call it? It's not bad. Okay, now I've seen a bit of red there, and I'm going to draw your attention to it. A lot of people ask how long to be in the trade. Look at this. I entered that one on the 26th of April. Today is what, the 12th of May. That's 16 days ago. So, you know, how long have you been in a trade? I didn't think that long. It's still in it. But I was down about 800 Rand at one stage. I can keep an eye on it. You can keep an eye on it. You got your strategy, let it run. And it might turn out to be a profit. The CAD CHF was a problem at one stage. GBP CHF was a problem. I think it's still in that one. Modify the stop, I think it's still in it. See, still in it. And that was looking pretty ropey at one stage. A lot of red there. Now it's looking blue. So stick with your strategy. Don't move your stop away if you're going to get stopped out. Rather move it towards when you're in a profit to protect yourself. And try not to stare at the damn thing all the time. No, it's very difficult to start, I know that. But try not to, because it will play with your mind. And please don't send me screenshots of your reds on the, you do nothing about it. Other people do. Oh, it's in red. Okay, I'm sorry about that. Send it in blue, it'll cheer me up. Can't do much about that either. But I certainly can't flick a switch into the red. One of those things. Just remember, get your calculator. If you're new, haven't got it, get your calculator. You go to the live chat. We're moving more and more as remote here. Go to the live chat. If you have a problem with logins or technical support, and technical support on the live chat will help you download your position size calculator onto your laptop. You need to have that, and they're going to have lessons on how to use it. It's not that difficult, but still know how to use it. You don't want incorrect volumes. That's very important in trading. Okay. Not for shares, there, guys, not for shares. That's a separate calculator you get on the LMS. Euro CHF, you want to buy it. You want to sell the Swiss franc. Okay. No. You might get a bounce, Anna Marie. You might definitely get a bounce. It's a bit of support there. Let's crunch it a bit for my good old technical terms. You might get a bit of bounce because of this level here. Look at the weekly. Yeah, you might. It's a bit of strong support there. You might get a profit-taking, short covering bounce on it. I hear you on that. Do you know what extent that bounce is going to be? You don't know. It could be 20 pips, it could be 40, 50, you don't know. I don't think there's enough meat in the bones to take the risk of going on a bounce of it. I'd rather you sold a rally or a breakthrough. I'm not personally keen on you selling the Swiss franc at this stage. Might change, but this stage, yeah. And clearly you can see it sells on the weekly, on the daily, on the 4 hour. In fact, you might even get a 1 hour EJ job. Too far away, I think. Just always check. 17, if it's below 15, maybe you can do an EJ sell on it. But no, I'm not so sure about that. I'm nervous for that reason. NZDCHF. NZDCHF to sell, I presume. When I see Swiss franc, I think I don't see sell, I see buy. So it looks like a sell on this one because it's the base currency. That's right on resistance. This one. Bonga, to answer your question, yes, I do. I think it's too late to enter. Wait for a bounce or a breakthrough. I wouldn't be chasing it here. Remember, there's a lot of TPs out there. The pros usually in front of the computer, they'll get out themselves, you know what I mean? But a lot of guys, especially in retail, there's millions and millions of retail traders, have got other things to do, okay? So we'll put a TP in. And where are you going to put your TP? Just above the resistance, if you're going short, and the London might get triggered. So you might get some profit taking here. I wouldn't join here. Try and join it. You can a bit higher up. I don't know how far it's going to bounce. If it gets up here, well, a pleasure. Put your stop up here somewhere. But if it gets that far, it might only get that far. You can still maybe even gets that far and comes off. You can still get a stop up here, assuming no problem there, and take it down here. So you get your risk reward. See if you get a bounce back up here or better before you sell that one. But don't buy the bounce. Too risky. And you'd agree with me on mine. It's testing a strong support, yeah. But is it going to bounce? Very likely. Profit-taking bounce. What's the extent of the profit-taking bounce? I don't know. And I'm not sure I want to trade. you're a scalper, you haven't much costs involved, Naira spread, whatever it is, maybe you want to take a chance to grab 15, 20 quick pips and then get the hell out. But even that's a bit risky. But to do a proper trade in that. Right. Hang on. Where's the trader? All right, I'm write them down. Okay. Let's have a look. We've got a couple of trade out there. Thought I'd save them, obviously I didn't. I don't know why that is. Mailbox. That's it. There we are. Right. AUD USD was a buy. What's that doing at the moment? 0.67 nearest down. What's gold doing? Bloody gold. Looks like it stopped out. I think it's going to come back to 200, 2,000. If 2,000 holds and the dollar doesn't take out 102.20, 102.30, then buy it again. Maybe get your money back. I think gold might. I think 2,000 will hold. Anyway, around about that. AUD USD. It's come off a little bit, but not to worry. Stick with the strategy. The 50 days holding. Stick with the strategy. Okay. What's the other one? EUR AUD. That was also a buy at 37. Okay, good start to the day, not so pretty. Okay, but 63, is it holding? That's the bottom line. Yeah, 63 seems to be holding. You might get a bounce here. Some people might have missed the trade when they get a better prices. They like the long on it, but yeah, give it a chance. As I mentioned just now, a lot of my blues were reds not so long ago. Give it a chance, stick with the strategy. Remember, hey, finally, it wasn't so long ago when, in fact, 2 trades, the US dollar yen, about 5 pips in the stop, and then it bounced. And in the end, not just stopped out in a profit, but actually hit the TP. So, yeah. You made a decision, you got your strategy, stick with it. And you protect it because you got the calculator, you did it properly. Next step, it's 11 o'clock, I'm going to move on now. If you're on a phone, we don't have a camera on the phone, you'll have to go to the App Store. But I can urge you strongly, if you want to do the job properly, you need the tools, you need the knowledge, you need the balance. Trying to do strategies on a phone is very limiting. It's mobile use for it. You know, it's there for mobility. It's limited on strategy. Okay. Certainly like the sell idea. I wanted to break this one. I think I've mentioned this before in the strategy. I can't remember. If I didn't, I should have done. I agree with the sell. I want to break this. On the 4 hour, I want to break the 100. But I do agree with the sell. I'll soon get a decent stop. Yeah, stop above the 50. We're going to take it down to, you can probably have to use the week. Yeah, my problem is going to be with that one. You might have to go to the month to get a TP. It's the only problem. You're going to have to use the monthly for a TP to get a decent TP. That's my only problem. You can use a Fibonacci extension if you like. I haven't got time to explain that now. Maybe Clinton can next week, but that should be done in classes anyway. But you can use a Fibonacci extension if you want to get a TP out of it. But if it does break the 100 on there, it's a good possibility of a sell, I agree. But you'd have to use a monthly or an extension, a Fib extension to get your target to get a risk reward. But I wouldn't do it now. Okay. Yeah, sorry about one, Dealey. I thought it might come. That's a disaster, that, because he was doing this brilliantly. I know some guys modified the stop and made a couple of bucks on it before it came off. But I think 2,000 going to hold. Keep an eye on it. You might get another bash at it. Sorry about that, but that was outside my control. That was, I think, more lotteries, but more fundamental more than anything else. But I'm still see gold by the pullbacks. Okay. Okay, guys. Hope you're all good with that. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you when I get back. And good hands of Clinton. He'll sort you next week, and go well. And don't desert me. I'll be back in Monday week. Cheers, guys, and go well. Have a great time.
Cheers, mate, and enjoy your leave. Be rested.
Okay, thank you very much, Fani. Cheers. Well, I bet you like your hat there, Mr. Mariani. It's a bit nip where you are, I take it. Cheers, guys. Cheers, Ken. Cheers, guys.